Hi, cats and kittens. I just want to explain why I'm dressed like this. Hold on. I've got the wig. You got to see this. My producer's going to kill me because I promised him I wouldn't move, but I lied. Look at this outfit. It's so cool. Anyway, $10 in a Brooklyn store. So let me tell you why I'm dressed like this. I don't know if you folks have been reading about Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde it's a thing in astrology. I'm not going to go into the physics of it because I'm not very good at that. I'm a psychic, not a physic. But there are about 4 times during the year, for about 10 days at a time, when Mercury, which is the planet of communication and travel and things like that, because Mercury was the messenger of the gods, and that planet was named after him. Anyway, so Mercury goes retrograde, and when it appears to stop in its orbit and go backwards, it doesn't actually do that because it's a planet, and they tend to be pretty predictable. But from our viewpoint in Earth, that's what it appears to do. Anyway, when Mercury goes retrograde, things kind of just get more complicated than they need to be. And I'm not just talking about my love life. So when Mercury is retrograde, like travel gets screwed up, anything to do with communication, which includes like internet, electronics, film, stuff like that. And I sort of forgot that it was Mercury retrograde, and it's in Pisces, which is a very kind of coolly groovy sign. So Mercury retrograde doesn't have the frantic energy it sometimes does. It does have the energy of effectively molasses being poured into the gears of a very finely tuned machine, is what it is more like. So today, I have been dealing with bureaucrats and people saying absolute nonsense for 67 times longer than they needed to. So, for instance, my phone got stolen last September, and I've been trying to get French to turn off that line because the thief has been using it to call like Sweden and Jupiter and stuff. Keep billing me. So I came back to New York partially to go to the police station because Sprint said they wanted a police report, which I can only do in New York. There's a point to this story. Let me tell you what it is. So I got the police report, and I went into a Sprint store, and they said, "I'm sorry, but we can't stop billing you for the phone until you bring the stolen phone back." And I'm like, okay, so basically you're suggesting that I go up to every other person on the subway and say, "I'm sorry, sir, would you mind did you steal my phone? Could I have it back?" And I also had my wallet stolen with like all my ID in it and my credit card. So I went to my bank with my police report and all the photographs of all my picture ID. And they said, no, we can't give you a temporary card because you need photo ID. I'm like, yes, that's why I have these police reports and these photos. And they're like, I don't understand. It's all very Mercury retrograde. And then I had to buy something for the show, and the line was so slow that snails were whizzing by the rest of us. I mean, just little rocket-powered snails whizzing by us this week. All of us online grew old together, and eventually we were there for so long that people online founded a community and then a small city-state and developed their own language and a currency made out of cosmetic wrappers. Anyway, hi, welcome. So the reason that I'm dressed like this is because I could either burst into tears, lie face down on the floor and have a tantrum, which, not going to lie, already happened. Or I could say, you know what, if things are going to be this like bizarrely obstacle-laden and bizarrely bizarre, then the best thing I can do is be silly and have fun with it. But the more seriously I take it, the more upset I'll get. And that doesn't work. Hence, shopping at a Brooklyn, like, especially kind of hooker garb store and getting a fabulous kind of hooker kind of jumpsuit I love and garish jewelry. Look, and Mercury retrograde no longer has any power over me. So if until between now and March 10th, you're finding that communication is really kind of irrationally bad, or you're finding that your plane has been rerouted, you're going to South Dakota, but for some reason it's been rerouted through like Turkestan. These are all Mercury in retrograde things. So don't worry too much about miscommunications. Use this time not to do anything really that active. You can start doing that on the 10th. But use this time to do things that begin with an R-E. So rest, retreat, relax, and feel happiness. Renew yourself, refresh, review, and don't go to Bank of America or use Sprint. Aside from that, that's my advice. When life hands you lemons, I mean, you can make lemonade, but you can also learn to juggle. So when they go serious, you go silly. Okay, so thanks for listening. And was it Zonda? Who's our first caller today?
I'm sorry?
Alanda.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty. Alanda?
Yes.
That's beautiful. Hi, dear. Oh, Yolanda.
Yes.
Thank you, my
so
friend.
it's like Yolanda, but with a V.
Yeah, beautiful. That is the most exotic name I've ever heard coming out of Indiana. I actually played a singing gig in Dyer, Indiana. Indiana's beautiful. I can already tell you're the hippest person there. So, my darling, tell me your birthday. That's how I bond with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. January 15th, 1983.
Oh, happy Martin Luther King Day. 1983. Yes. I have shoes older than you. Help. Okay. Oh, it's such a nice giggle. I'm so glad you called, my little Capricorn. So, how may I help you today? Mm-hmm.
So, I'm having issues in my marriage, and I just wanted to get guidance that's rather it's fixable, or if it's time to cut ties.
Well, first, that's a great question. First, let me get this out of the way. There's no physical abuse, right? If there's any physical or even mental abuse, go someplace else.
There's no physical abuse.
Okay, stuff can still be really bad, though. It feels to me like, when did this start? Did it really start coming to your attention about 5 to 6 months ago?
It's been longer than that. Let's see, we have been together 7 years, married for 4, and it got really rocky after the first year of marriage.
Yeah, it tends to. The reason I say the last 5 or 6 months is because I feel like you were kind of, how can I put this? You were just kind of either ignoring it or dealing with it, but then it's starting to feel like a power struggle, and it's starting to feel like rather than we're working together, and I feel he makes things very adversarial. So it's not him and you, it's sort of him versus you, and that's taking a toll on your feeling of being empowered or having self-esteem, both of which are 2 things I want for you. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You have 1 child?
I'm sorry?
It feels like there's a kid in there somewhere.
Yes, we have a daughter.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Oh, is she special? When's her birthday?
January 13th.
Look at you, keeping it all in the same week. What about your husband?
January 19th.
Oh, please. Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, Capricorns are notoriously frugal. So you get the after Christmas sale and you get it all out of the way at once. I love that. Now, there's been a lot of planetary action having to do with Capricorn. And Capricorn, I love Capricorns. Everybody says they're the executives of the zodiac. You know, they may seem like that on the outside. Underneath, you people are crazy in a very good way. But I mean, I'm not buying the executive thing. You're actually, the reason a lot of you value like structure and discipline and, you know, looking very put together, all of that is because you want to appear normal because you know that underneath there, you're a very original thinker. Capricorn's a very misunderstood sign. You're the most like that. Only your daughter's the most like that. She is really, she's something. Does she have very round cheeks?
Yes.
And does she have kind of almond eyes, kind of slightly, they tip up at the, like really beautiful, like Princess Jasmine eyes?
Can you repeat that? It's kind of like.
Oh, does she have like almond-shaped eyes, like sort of they sort of tilt slightly up, like Princess Jasmine in Aladdin? I can't believe I just said that. But she
but they kind of. Yeah, they you would say they shape like an almond.
Yeah. Are they kind of golden? I'm sorry, I'll move on, but I'm sort of in love with your daughter right now.
They're not really golden. They're a light brown. So I guess
I think they're golden. Amber, or tiger eyes. Hi, sweetie. Hi. I'm so glad you could join us. Hi. How are you?
My mom is
Oh, I know. So, you know, if you can go get some juice, I'm going to talk to your mommy for a little while, and we're going to say really good things about you, okay? Let's have a little juice, and Mom and I are going to have a little talk.
Okay.
Here's the thing. No, not you. You stay where you are. Hold on, but she gets the juice. Just be clear, okay? She's so cute. Here's what I'm getting. I wouldn't normally say this, but I'm going to. I think a part of you is genuinely, you're a very spiritual person. I also think you're religious. And I think that when you took your marriage vows, you weren't kidding.
No.
No. And even though you have a beautiful sort of light, playful, charming way about you, you're very serious when it comes to matters of what comes to your value. So this looks to me like, how can I do this? Okay. I think he's a really good man, but I think his idea of what being a father and a husband is kind of kind of rigid, right? I might come from this place. So I think he got more like this when he became like a daddy. And so he's gotten kind of locked into playing this role that I don't think is really him. I think that who he is, did you guys meet in a very cute way? Were you like rollerblading and went off a cliff together or something like that?
No.
Maybe not that. Okay. But did you meet in sort of a cute way, or how did you meet?
We met online.
Oh, okay.
But he said, well, we actually went to school together. I didn't recognize him. He recognized me. I didn't even know he existed.
I think that's probably why he was online. He's like, please let me meet her again. But it feels like you guys did something really fun or cute on one of your first 3 dates. Anyway, not important. But he has this side of being really loyal and really, he can be really funny when he gets relaxed. So I feel like right now you're being asked to look at where else in your life you're letting other people make you feel disempowered. Because in a sense, this isn't about him, it's about your response to him. So I'm going to go through a brief exercise with you. You mind? Will you play with me for 3 minutes?
Okay.
Okay. First, I want you to close your eyes and just go to a place, not literally because I want you to stay here, but go to a place in your mind that you remember as being like very beautiful or very relaxed. It's a really nice place where you just are happy. It can be a beach, it can be another beach, it can be a third beach. But just take a moment and get into that kind of happy feeling. You got nothing to do for the next 2 minutes. You just feel that feeling. Then what I'd like you to do is think about this problem, this sort of tug of war you guys are having, and your feeling of frustration with him. And what I want you to do is, in your imagination, kind of be the person you would be if suddenly that problem wasn't there anymore. So, who would you be being? How would you be acting? How would you feel if suddenly this problem miraculously went away? So take a moment. So you're still you, but this issue has just cleared up. He's listening. He's being more respectful. He's not being quite as domineering, and he's being kind of the guy you fell in love with. So that you don't even have to worry about like why suddenly this problem has gone away. What I'd like you to do is just feel what it likes to be the person who doesn't have that problem. Are you there? Nice, right? All right, I'd like you to do this for the next, let's try 10 days. Just set a time. It takes 3 minutes. And what you're doing is when you go to the place where that issue isn't there anymore, and you're just being the person without that issue, it kind of, you're working with your higher power, God, and that hugely wise, loving, all-powerful, did I mention loving? Partner, the one up there, will just make that happen. You don't have to worry about how or why. And you might find yourself responding differently. Because I think this guy really loves you, and he's faithful, and he's honest. And he's cute.
He has been.
He gained a little weight. What?
He's been deceitful and cheating.
Oh, he has. Okay, then I take that back. Sorry. But I think I will say, and I'm not making excuses, I think he's been doing that as kind of a power game that has been aimed at you because he wants kind of power and dominance. Just try this for 10 days. Get his butt back to church. I think he wants to be a good man. If after 10 days you're not seeing any change at all, then you know what? Do what you feel you have to do to be free and to be your best self. But I'm just going to ask you to try this for 10 days because what I get from this guy is, right, don't take this the wrong way, but I have a girlfriend who's a special ed teacher. And I used to complain about my boyfriend, and she'd say, here's what you don't get. Men are just autistic women. So they're really smart, but they are not sure how stuff works in human interaction. Also, you have the power in this relationship much more than you think you do. So let me ask you two more things, and then I'll get to what I think is going to happen. Are you still attracted to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I recently had a conversation with him. You know, with things being as rocky as they have been, and the fact that he left, he had a full-blown affair, like it was public. I told him that it was times that I had, you know, like begged God to take my feelings away. I prayed that if the marriage was over, that he would go file for the divorce. I tried moving on. I tried just ignoring him. I tried not having feelings. And it was like, it just didn't stop.
Yeah. We've got 20 seconds, so I'm going to talk really fast. What I'd like to do, I think you guys have a very strong bond. It's like a past life bond. So I think he wants to be the man that you see he's capable of being. Not that that's your responsibility. Try this for like 10 days. Can you call back on March 18th? I'll ask my producers to prioritize you and tell me how it's going. And then I'll tell
March 18th.
I'll tell you what I get. But I think the thing I'm suggesting is going to work. If you forget how to do it, just contact me on Facebook. My name is Peri, like Periwinkle. Lyons, Lyons, on Facebook. And just shoot me a little one email, and I'll send you my number. We can chat.